So for me, how I found peace was through my story, going back through my life, seeing where I came from and where I'm at now. Seeing that journey. But the thing about it is you have to see the journey. First of all, you have to start your journey. And many of us think because we're born into this world that we have started our journey. No, it's not it, man. That's not it. It's not that simple. I wish it was that simple. Many people have died and lived to be 100 years old and never started their journey. That journey starts when you start to meet yourself at that battle. When you start to battle yourself and start to break down those walls that you in society start to build in your own mind. Once you start to break down those walls, you've now started your journey. Your journey has to be hard at first to get through the other side to find peace.
How do I deal with setbacks, failures, delays, defeat, or other disasters? I actually have a fairly simple way of dealing with these situations. It is actually one word to deal with all those situations. And that is good. And this is actually something that one of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, pointed out to me. And he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, "I already know what you're going to say." And I said, "Well, what am I going to say?" He said, "You're going to say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, "Well, yeah. And I mean it." And that is how I feel. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. And, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. We can keep it simple. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Didn't get funded? Good. We own more of the company. Didn't get the job you wanted? Good. You can get more experience and build a better resume. Got injured? Sprained my ankle? Good. Needed a break from training. Got tapped out? Good. It's better to tap in training than to tap out on the street. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. And that's it. That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. No. You just look at the issue and you say, good. And I don't mean to say something that's all cliche, and I don't mean to sound like Mr. Positive. Find the positive, but do that. Focus on the good. Take that issue, take that problem, and make it something good. It'll bring that attitude to your team, too. You go forward. And lastly, like to close this out, if you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then now you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack. And that right there is about as good as it gets.
I had to become sick. God made me sick, and I couldn't run. I couldn't push anymore. So I had a lot of time to think about my life. And I never reflected back. Through reflections where you find peace. I never reflected back on that. I never reflected back on where I came from and where I'm at now and all the things I overcame. You have to slow your life down enough to respect what you've done for yourself, all the things you overcome. So to find peace, you need reflection. You need a lot of reflection to go back through and respect the journey. So through there, you find your peace. Now, to go back to the suffering part of life after you find peace, it's important because why? You can't ever think that you've arrived. There must always be growth. Like right now, I'm talking about the black and white issue, gay and lesbian, whatever the you're dealing with issue. There's so much growth in that. There's so much growth in going back to school, going back to get more education, learning another culture, learning. It's just about constantly immersing yourself in something that you're just not comfortable with. It's not about running a lot of miles. It's not about, going back to these hard, like crucibles of like doing all these different challenges physically. A lot of the hardest challenges in the world are mental challenges of trying to be a better person. Like for instance, man, I talked to this guy the other day, man, just to bring up another race issue. He's like, hey man, like I gotta be honest with you, man. Like I was born hating black people. And he goes, hey, are you able to take this conversation? I go, yeah, what's up, man? He goes, you're my mentor. And I have to tell you this, man, because I grew up calling black people. And he goes, and he looked at me, he goes, I hope that you don't hate me now. I go, you know how much fucking courage it took for you? I go, motherfucker, I respect you more now than fucking ever. I don't know who the fuck you are, but now I respect you.
Yeah.
Because if you walk up to me and tell me this, that I'm your mentor, and then almost start crying to me, because for 30 years of your life, you made black jokes, called black people out of their name, called them niggas. Now you're talking to a black man who was called more times than I can count. You're telling me that, please don't hate me now, but you are now my mentor. That's growth. That's the suffering. That's part of the maturing in life that I'm talking about. So that's the going back and trying to always fix yourself. You're not always fixed. Through finding peace, you're proud of yourself. It doesn't mean that you're totally fixed and you're all good and everything is great and now I've arrived and I can be comfortable. No, man. It means that you're proud of yourself. But in being proud of yourself, take that time to say, okay, man, but I'm still fucked up in a lot of fucking areas. And that's that going back and constantly going back through that and fixing yourself.
What are your goals? Are you going into the future by using your faith before you actually get what you want? Before you reach that goal, you have to live it in the future and take every step that you need to take to get to that dream. You're not waiting to reach that goal. That goal is waiting on you. We are the creators. We are the innovators. God has given you dominion over the earth. What are you doing with the power he's given you? Don't wait for anybody else. People will try to tell you what you can, what you can't do. But it's all in your hands. So I'm asking you today, where do you see yourself? What are you doing to get there? What type of leader are you?
That's